Welcome back to the Frame Shift. Today we're diving into the sophisticated and mysterious world of dark academia. This aesthetic has captivated people with its focus on intellectual pursuits, Gothic elements, and a romanticized view of academia. From its origins to its cultural impact, let's explore what makes dark academia such a compelling movement. Dark academia's roots can be traced back to the literary and artistic movements of the 19th and early 20th centuries. Think of Gothic novels like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or the works of Edgar Allan Poe. These stories often explored themes of mortality, forbidden knowledge, and the pursuit of higher understanding, all of which resonate with the dark academia aesthetic. The influence of romantic poets like Lord Byron and Percy Bysshe Shelley can also be seen in the movement's emphasis on beauty, emotion, and the sublime. The aesthetic took on a more defined shape in the late 2010s, gaining popularity through social media platforms like Tumblr, Instagram, and later TikTok. It emerged as a counterpoint to fast-paced modern life, offering a slower, more introspective alternative that celebrates intellectual curiosity and the pursuit of knowledge. Dark academia invites us to imagine ourselves in ivy-covered universities, surrounded by leather-bound books and candlelit libraries, engaging in philosophical debates or decoding ancient texts. The look of dark academia is unmistakable. It borrows heavily from vintage and preppy styles, with a focus on neutral tones, tailored pieces, and textured fabrics. Think wool blazers, turtlenecks, pleated skirts, and Oxford shoes. Accessories often include leather satchels, fountain pens, and antique jewelry. There's a sense of timelessness to the aesthetic, as if its adherents could step out of the pages of a classic novel. Interestingly, the aesthetic doesn't stop at fashion. It extends to every aspect of life, from the books you read to the music you listen to. In literature, dark academia enthusiasts gravitate towards works like Donna Tartt's The Secret History, F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, and the poetry of T.S. Eliot. In film, movies like Dead Poets Society and Kill Your Darlings capture the mood and themes of the aesthetic. Even the act of writing itself, whether it's journaling or composing letters by hand, is seen as an essential part of living the dark academia lifestyle. What's particularly fascinating about dark academia is its focus on the duality of light and dark. On one hand, it celebrates intellectualism and the pursuit of beauty. On the other, it grapples with themes of existentialism, melancholy, and the fleeting nature of time. This duality is reflected in its aesthetic, which balances elegance and grit. It's not uncommon to see a dark academia enthusiast wearing a perfectly tailored coat while standing in a crumbling, overgrown courtyard. The pandemic played a significant role in the aesthetic's rise. During lockdowns, many people were drawn to the idea of creating a sense of purpose and structure in their lives. Dark academia provided a framework for this, encouraging activities like reading, studying, and engaging in creative pursuits. Its romanticized portrayal of academia offered an escape from the mundanity of quarantine life, inspiring people to turn their homes into makeshift libraries and classrooms. One of the most interesting aspects of dark academia is its global appeal. While its imagery often centers on Western institutions like Oxford and Cambridge, fans from all over the world have embraced the aesthetic. In countries like Japan, Korea, and Brazil, local interpretations of dark academia have emerged, blending the aesthetic's core elements with regional culture and traditions. This global adoption speaks to the universal allure of its themes and imagery. However, the aesthetic is not without its criticisms. Some have pointed out that dark academia often romanticizes a very narrow and elitist view of education, focusing on institutions and lifestyles that are inaccessible to many. There's also a tendency to glorify overwork and perfectionism, which can be harmful in the long term. Critics argue that the aesthetic should evolve to include a more inclusive and sustainable vision of academia and intellectual life. Despite these critiques, dark academia continues to inspire creativity and self-expression. Its emphasis on intellectual curiosity and the beauty of learning resonates deeply in a world that often prioritizes productivity over contemplation. It encourages people to find joy in the small, meaningful rituals of daily life, like reading a poem, writing a letter, or exploring an old bookstore. Another intriguing aspect of dark academia is how it intersects with other aesthetics. For example, it shares similarities with cottagecore in its nostalgic and romanticized view of the past. But where cottagecore focuses on rural life, dark academia is firmly rooted in the academic and urban. It also overlaps with goth in its darker themes and visual elements, though it tends to be more subdued and less overtly dramatic. The aesthetic has also found its way into contemporary media. Shows like The Queen's Gambit and Wednesday feature characters and settings that embody the dark academia mood, from the vintage-inspired wardrobes to the focus on intellectual and artistic pursuits. These representations have further cemented the aesthetic's place in popular culture. So why does dark academia resonate so deeply with people? Perhaps it's because it offers an escape from the chaos of modern life, inviting us to slow down and reconnect with the things that matter. It reminds us of the beauty of learning for its own sake, of getting lost in a book or a conversation, and of finding inspiration in the world around us. The rise of dark academia is more than just a trend. It's a reflection of our longing for depth, meaning, and connection in an increasingly superficial world. Whether you're drawn to its fashion, its literature, or its philosophy, dark academia invites you to step into a world where curiosity and creativity reign supreme. Thanks for tuning into The Frame Shift. If you enjoyed this exploration of dark academia, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what aesthetic or subculture you want us to explore next. Until next time, stay curious.